You trust the ones you love, you trust your friends, you trust your teammates. And that's hard enough to do because people suck. How do you trust people when you put your lives on the line? And what do you do when it doesn't work? Welcome to the heart of the stories we tell. My name is Rob, and tonight I will be reviewing Arrow Season 6, Episode 9, Irreconcilable Diffrences. And those irreconcilable differences aren't just any. It's pretty much the whole team falling apart. Now it is the mid-season break, so, that's expected. I would like to point out, though, that the best Justice League issues I ever read of the comics are the ones where there isn't necessarily just a leader, where the team knows what it's doing and works on its own. Yeah, you need somewhat a field commander, but you don't really when everyone's to the point where they know what they're doing. Last year, the Vigilante story didn't make much sense to me. This year, it makes a little more. I understand where they're going with it, I understand what's going on, and with the ending of the episode, I even understand what they're doing with all of the characters and why we need them. But that's a lot to unpack. Before we do that, I just want to make sure, if this is your first time here, what I do here is I review stories, and then I come up with theories and concepts of how and why we tell stories. If that sounds interesting, click that subscribe button, because as of right now, I've got 78 subscribers, and when I hit 100, I'm going to give away an Amazon gift card. Now, the whole Berlantiverse crossed over last week. We had a big crisis on Earth X, and that caused some problems in my mind on how things are going here. But, to be fair, not any bigger than the fact that we have an Argus controller as the wife of one of our main characters. We also had a character waking up from a coma, one that was pretty long-lived. It was pretty much the entire first half of the season. This is the first episode she's really been back for. And to go with that, like I said, we just are coming back from the Earth X crossover. So there's a lot going on, but the big thing you need to know is that this character died, but then didn't because her alternate reality self who's evil came. Why don't they put a mustache and goatee on her? And this is our season big bad, Caden James, a computer hacker. But let's throw this up there and get started. So once again, it's stop. Spoiler time. So I want to start with, once again, that's not how lawsuits work. That's not how criminal justice works. Even the FBI can't do this. You can't spring a surprise witness on people. You can't have, hey, we have a witness that says they saw you, but you aren't allowed to know who it is. Our criminal justice system doesn't work that way. Seriously, I realize this is a comic book, but the defense gets to debrief the witness. They get to investigate, find out whether or not he's telling the truth or lying. That's like one of the clearest, most basic tenets of our system. Even this guy, who is an evil computer hacker, shouldn't be able to manipulate things in such a way as to override basic rights. Oh, okay. So Caden James has this plan, and he needs the Arrow team to steal something, even though if you really think about it, Black Siren could have done everything that they did. She could have broken into Argus, but he wanted to really showcase how much control he had, and he wanted to maybe show off the fact that he knows what they're doing before they do it. But that might also be a little too open-handed. Meanwhile, the most unrealistic part of the superhero show being the law, we have the fact that someone on the team has turned state's evidence and is willing to testify. And yes, it turns out to be Wild Dog, but first we think it's Black Canary, even though you totally knew it wasn't, just because it just doesn't make any sense. And you have this entire moment where Wild Dog is really doing the same thing Oliver would do in the same situation, and they even try to call him on that. And Oliver gives him another chance, but then there's this whole blow-up where the question of how can we trust each other. And the thing is, OG Team Arrow, Spartan, Arrow, and Felicity, they're saying is different than new Team Arrow. But realistically, no. He just needs Felicity to be the one to spy. You can't tell me he wouldn't have spied on John. And this is where that question that comes up at the beginning of my video comes in. How do you trust someone who would spy on you? Well, everyone has secrets. And I do mean everyone. Your mama has secrets. Your kids have secrets. The person you love has secrets. Your best friend has secrets. I have secrets. Things you wouldn't want to get out. Now, they're not necessarily bad things, just something you don't want to talk about. And for a friend should trust that. And I think that it's one of those things that Green Arrow does so horrible. Not the show itself. The show does good at showcasing it. But the character, Stephen Amell's Arrow, he doesn't realize that those same secrets that he's so famous for keeping are the same secrets that other people wouldn't want exposed. One by one, the team falls apart until finally Curtis is the last one. And I really feel for Curtis. In a lot of ways, he's my favorite of the characters. And at the same time, he's the one that was willing to give it the most, hey, let's give this a try, and was the most ambitious about going out for Team Arrow. And he has the closest friends, because him and Felicity are close and are working together. But when you think about it, how much of a betrayal is it that he knows the only way he could have been tracked was for his friend and co-worker Felicity to have done it? But something else happened this episode. We learned that on Black Canary's Earth, Quentin died when she was 13. And you know what? All this time, all this hardened Black Siren stuff turned all to mush when she refused to kill her father. And when she just whispered, run. She could have killed him. She could have probably killed Ollie, too. In fact, that sonic scream makes it very hard to stop her. But she didn't. And I think deep down Quentin knew he could trust her not to, which is kind of messed up on multiple levels. Because the whole team has fallen apart over these trust issues. And yeah, there's a certain amount of you can say that this was planned and that Caden came up with this, but not really. Caden put together his own anti-team, though. And I guess this is why I'm kind of disappointed with the season finale. Okay, so we have Black Siren and Caden James and Richard Dragon and Vigilante and Anatole all working together as bad guys, which is great. It's a great setup for everyone has someone to fight on Team Arrow. But at the same time, we have the annoying factor of they just broke up Team Arrow in a fake breakup. I feel the same non-tension that I did at the season finale last year. Oh gee, did they just blow up almost the entire cast except the main character? Of course they didn't. Did they break up Team Arrow to never come back together again? No, of course they didn't. Now, I'm not saying they're all coming back. I'm not even saying that there won't be some change-ups. We've already lost Ragman, and teams like this do change up over time. But we know at least a good portion of them are coming back, so meh. There were good and bad parts to the episode, and overall I had a lot of fun, especially at the beginning with the whole marriage thing. And I do find it funny that it's the only Berlantiverse show that didn't do a Christmas theme. But overall, it felt like a weekend to a strong mid-season. What did you think, though? Do you think that there's any real tension here on whether they're going to get the team back together by the end of the first episode next year? Let me know down in the comments. Also, what do you think about the Renee thing? Do you think that that betrayal is something that could be looked past? Do you think you could? While you're at it, do you think you could give me a thumbs up and a share on social media? And if you haven't already, click that subscribe button. Like I said, I have some Amazon gift cards I want to give away when I hit 100 subscribers. But in general, even if you don't, I really want you to be part of this community. I want to talk about these stories. The how we like them, the how they tell them, the why they tell them the way they do. Let me know what you think down below and join our little community. And when I do the mid-season final review, maybe we'll talk about some comments. For now, I hope you have a good night, and thank you for walking with me through the heart of the stories we tell.